Hi there, AP here, and I'm just going to quickly talk about VODs and how to make them. We were recently discussing how to, or giving advice on how to best make VODs, and I decided that I would quickly make a video instructing you how to set up NVIDIA GeForce or GayForce, whatever you want to call it, to use Shadowplay to create VODs. The reason why I would suggest that you use NVIDIA Shadowplay to create VODs is because Shadowplay is almost entirely GPU bound, which means I will have a more minimal impact on your game performance than using, say, an alternative like OBS. However, I do think you can only use Shadowplay if you have an NVIDIA card. I don't know if there is an AMD alternative available out there for you. Nonetheless, OBS uses a higher CPU drain, especially in more intensive moments, which can have a much more dramatic impact on your FPS, which could ruin your gaming ability. You got to get those frags in. Anyway, so first, what you want to do if you want to set up Shadowplay to record VODs is you want to get GeForce Experience. This is the program that comes with any NVIDIA card. It's the one you use to update your drivers. And once you have that program open, you want to click on this little button up here, or at least in this current edition. It changes every now and then, so you might need to update your information as they change the UI, which they do every 3 to 4 months because NVIDIA are incompetent. So what you want to do is you want to quickly open up this, hit the gear, you want to go down to recordings, set your temporary and end destination file locations. I'd recommend that you set your videos to go to a hard drive which has a lot of empty space because NVIDIA Shadowplay files are quite large. They're not the largest, but they can quickly ramp up in terms of size. And then once you are past that, you want to go down to keyboard shortcuts. Quickly set yourself a shortcut for these 3 things here under record. This will toggle instant replay on and off. You'll get to that in a moment. This will save the instant replay, and this will toggle manual recording on and off, which is if you don't want to set a replay that is bound to the 20 minutes, which is the maximum length of an instant replay, you can just set it to be recording at all times. However, remember to turn that back off. I have these set to a couple combination hotkeys that I find quite easy to reach and use all the time. I would recommend you do something similar to that. After that, you want to go to highlights. Actually, no, nope, not highlights. You want to go down to video capture. That's the one. You want to set your video length to 20 minutes. That is the maximum length you can set an instant replay to be. I would recommend 20 minutes because usually, even the longest competitive games usually only end up running about 18 to 22 minutes, so you can usually get one in with that. You want to set the resolution to the resolution of your screen. I recommend 1080 HD anyway, and 60 FPS. And finally, just max that bitrate out. This will produce files that are about 6.3 gigabytes to about 7.2 gigabytes in length, in my experience. It gives you an estimation there. The estimation isn't entirely accurate. Finally, you want to set your microphone source to be the microphone that you use, naturally. I've got it not set to my actual microphone, which is this, but a different thing. You won't have that, don't worry about it. You want to set the volume to 100. Do not set it to boost. Do not do that. Additionally, do not separate both tracks. If you put this into a video editing program, such as Windows Movie Maker, this will actually break not Windows Movie Maker, Movie Studio Platinum, the Sony Vegas bunch. This will break your video. It won't load in there. Trust me, I have tried it. I thought it would be nice and cool to have different audio tracks so I could do things with it. It didn't work. So just set it to a single audio track. And once you've done all that, you want to go back from there. If you want to actually record your local microphone, you can turn it on here. If you click settings, it'll just take you back to there, by the way. You can have a push to talk key set in the hotkey settings for the microphone in here, but I recommend you have it set to always on. Once you've done that, you can turn on instant replay like this. Once you've done that, it will always be recording whatever has been happening in the past 20 minutes of footage from the moment that you've turned it on. You do not have to reset instant replay every time you hit instant replay, however. As you will see here, it will record 17 seconds there. And if I come back in a few minutes, and I'm back again, in a few minutes, you will be able to hit it again, and it will give you... Alright, it wasn't really a minute, not even 1 minute, I'm so impatient. But once you hit it again, it will give you a time from the last recording that you did, that you told it to save. So what you can do then is if something does go over 20 minutes, you can immediately hit the instant replay button after the first 20 minutes, and you will continue from the exact point that the previous replay stopped. You can also set up manual recordings. I will do that right now. And as you can see, recording has started, and once I tell it to, it will stop a recording, just like so. One thing that I do advise that you do if you use this is that you go into HUD layout, turn on status indicator in any corner that you wish. This will put a little orb down in the bottom, or in the corner that you tell it to. I'm not sure it's actually... I'm not sure it's actually showing for you guys, the orb. That's because I am actually showing you how to set up GeForce Experience. I can't have it turned on. I'm having to record this with OBS right now. But nonetheless, you can't record while you are messing with the settings. But I have a little orb down here that is telling me whether it is on or off, and so on. I recommend you have that just to remind you that instant replay is on, so you can hit it at any time that you want and save footage. Anyway, once you've done that, you should be able to find your files in the file path that you've chosen. I made a folder for Shadowplay in here. This is all the footage for games that I have played. I don't know what that is. Sometimes it'll bring up a broken thing. But once in here, you can find all the recordings that you've made, and there you are. Here are my millions of recordings of Overwatch. And to give you an example, here is about as large as one appears at 20 minutes. Like I say, predominantly in the 6 to 7 gigabytes file size. So there you go. Again, just want to click on this, turn it on, turn it off. You do not have to turn it on again every single time you set up an instant replay. It will just keep running. And that right there is NVIDIA Shadowplay in just a moment for you. Hopefully you found that useful. Hopefully you can now easily make VOD reviews and send them off to each other and get feedback on your gameplay. Anyway, see ya.